in the ARCA Series with his career best ever finish in 7th.
Great run for them two guys. Daryl Basham, look at Bill Eversole, Andy Belmont, and then Chad McCummey run out top 10.
Well, one of the stories we'll be talking a lot about tonight is a driver of this car, number 15, Billy Venturini. Came into the season expecting big things, certainly to challenge for the championship. But at Daytona, when he thought all was going off to a good start, it took a terrible turn with just a couple of laps to go. This is the end of the race. Now you'll see Billy's number 25 right there in the spot shadow, nose into the wall. But this was not the big impact that was coming as a freight train down the back straightaway.
Just nowhere to go when you get a pileup like that. You see cars sliding everywhere. You see Billy backing down the racetrack. He stopped right there, and man, these guys just don't get stopped. And what a big wham. That's really what paid his toll to Billy's car.
They plowed into the number 25, and Billy was trapped in the car. They were able to get him out 10 days later. Here he is at the race shop in North Carolina wearing a halo. And then just last week, on top of the war wagon, cheering on his teammate, Jason Jarrett. Let's head downstairs where Billy is standing by with Lindsay Zarniak.
Tonight is a very emotional one for the entire Venturini family. You can see them all sitting here waiting behind me. For 4.5 months, they have been waiting as Billy has been working for tonight to get himself back out on the racetrack. Billy, what are your emotions as you get ready to get out there for the first time since Daytona?
Well, believe it or not, I'm kind of lost for words, which is probably never been heard from me before, but the support of my friends, my family, my whole crew, my girlfriend, everyone's been just top-notch. The support's been great. I'm really proud to be here today. I'm going to give this car the best run I can. I need to thank my sponsors, AccuPro, Central Merchant Services, Ready Hosting, all my sponsors that stuck with me, supported me, and made it possible for a comeback this year. I'm absolutely honored by the way everyone's treated me.
I think you're right. A lot of people would be surprised that you say you're at a loss for words. Tell me about your qualifying run today, Billy.
Well, we were pretty good in practice. We were like 15th or something, and I want a little better, but these guys, they really hammered on for qualifying, and I just never been much of a qualifier. I figured I'd get her in the show pretty comfortable my first lap. Tried to get after it a little more my second lap. Went a little better, but my forte today has been race time. So we got us a decent starting spot. We're middle of the pack, 20th or 22nd, wherever the heck we're starting. I think they pay on where we finish on lap 100.
Good luck, Billy. And I want to take this opportunity to show you guys. This is Billy's sister, Wendy, and she's got her shirt on. ARCA's Bad Boy returns. I think a lot of people down here on pit road do share that sentiment, guys.
It is a tremendous story, Lindsay, and I think, Dan, as a former driver, you probably understand just how hard it was and what he had to overcome, Billy Venturini, that is, to get himself prepared to get back in the race car. Not a small feat.
No, it's not. Mentally, as a race car driver, you know, we race and we do these things day in and day out. But when we have a serious injury like that, we have to make a decision. We look at our life, especially when we're laying in a hospital bed saying, man, do I really want to do this anymore? It takes dedication, and it takes a guy that really has love for the sport. So Billy's proved that he's got what it takes to be a race car driver, and he really wants to be a race car driver. That's why he's back in the seat here today. And
a great job by all the doctors and physical therapists that worked with him to get him prepared to be here today. Well, as we said, this is the second time the ARCA REMAX Series has been this year. Frank Kimmel, the winner here earlier this year, but look at the guys who finished right behind him. We'll be talking about Chad Blunt, Joey Miller, and Ken Weaver here again tonight. Kevin Hamlin not racing with us here this evening.
Nope, Frank starting back in 19th position. Tough starting position for him, but he'll be there at the end. Frank's a true contender.
6 championships, Frank the King, as they call him, Kimmel has won in the ARCA REMAX Series. He's going after number 7, and here's why you can see he's such a strong contender. Led more laps than anybody already this season. Well, we were getting closer and closer to the start of tonight's race here on Speed Channel. Stay with us. We're coming back to Kentucky right after this. Well, the drivers are in their cars, which means we're ready to fire up those big American V8s. Let's head downstairs for the command.
Now the words that you've been waiting for, the most famous words in motorsports, and to deliver the command, Sharif Polello from News 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engine!
Now the engines are coming alive, and we're getting ready to go here at Kentucky Speedway. There's Aaron Crocker's Evernham machine. Flagman getting set to release the field out onto the racetrack for a few laps behind the pace car, and we'll be racing here soon. Well, here's the point standings. We mentioned Frank Kimmel wanting championship number 7. We've shown you how many laps he's led. All that has turned into a pretty good points lead over Joey Miller.
And look at Joey Miller, Chad Blunt right on his heels. Ken Weaver having a great year also, and Mark Gibson rounding out the top 5. Great top 5 there. You can throw a blanket over them.
Well, we've talked a lot about Frank Kimmel. For more on King Kimmel, let's head downstairs one more time to Lindsay.
You guys are very accurate. You could call Frank Kimmel the king of Kentucky, basically. He leads this racetrack with 4 wins, 4 poles, but somehow he finds himself starting in the 19th position. The good news is that this past May, Kimmel found himself starting at 17th. He pulled it out to win the race. So he should be one very exciting driver to pay attention to. To Don?
Daryl Basham, who races on less than a shoestring budget, first race in the ARCA Remax Series in 1972. More than 30 years later, at 55 years young, he's still here. He finished a career best 7th in points in 1976. 3 decades later, he would finish 11th in points in 2004. Coming off a career best super speedway finish of 7th at Kansas last weekend, the independent trucker from Henryville, Indiana, has got the hometown fans hooting and hollering for their very favorite ARCA underdog, Daryl Basham, in provisional land tonight. Good luck, Daryl.
Trust me, if you haven't met Daryl Basham, if you did, you'd love him. He's one of my favorite all-time racers, has one of the best lines I've ever heard. I asked him, Daryl, how's it going this year? He said, I just want to make enough money to get a facelift. You gotta love this guy. That's Daryl Basham's attitude. Well, Aaron Crocker, could this be the night that a female wins an ARCA race? She's got a fast race car. Chad Blunt's going to do everything he can to win 2 in a row, however.
See Joey Miller starting 3rd there. Great race car, 3 races, 3 top 5s. Good race car for him, tested here a few weeks ago. David Regan on the outside, and an ex-Elliott Sadler car. Yates Power under the hood.
I'm not so sure either one of these drivers thought they'd be starting from row 3 as they rolled into this racetrack today, but they both had great runs. Keselowski and Gibson will make up row 3.
Mark Gibson making tremendous adjustments to the car after practice. See Johnny Leonard in the 13 car. Crew Chief Ted Kennedy's really got that team turned around, made major changes. He runs limited schedule in the Craftsman Truck Series and in the ARCA Series, done real well. Next to him, Danny O'Quinn, Roush R&D driver, Tony Lambert, great job.
Cobb Krisloff and Chad McCumbee, 2 young, hard Chargers in row 5. They should be coming through the field in their Chevys.
Steve Blackburn driving an ex-Ganassi car, kind of new to this series, but man, he's really made his mark. Have to look out for him. Justin Alliger on the outside, 5-time quarter midget champion, over 100 victories. Larry Moore, his crew chief, tremendous run for him tonight.
Making our way back to the rest of the field, Walt Brandon and T.J. Bell making up row 7. Ken Weaver and Bobby Gerhardt, the Daytona winner earlier this year. Starting on the outside of row 8, Andy Belmont still struggling to get that ex-Roush car the way he wants it on the inside of row 9. Well, there's the king.
Wow.
Kimmel inside of row 10. Billy Venturini outside of row 11, and Jason Jarrett on the inside of 12. Yep, his teammates now.
See Josh Clemens and Christy Passmore. Christy not being exactly where she wants to be, but they make some adjustments during the race. Hopefully she'll move to the front. Todd Bowser, son of Jack Bowser, been around a long time. Mike Garrity picking it up a little bit after practice.
Mike Harmon and Norm Benning, a couple of veterans of the series, will make up row 18. And there's Daryl Basham in the inside of row 19, and a pair of Tims making up the final row of the 40-car field tonight. Tim Turner and Tim Mitchell. Well, we had quite a healthy field of cars here taking time trying to make it into the show. And here are those that are going home, including Jason Basham, the son of Daryl.
Tough field here. I think we had some really good cars here, a good field of cars, but unfortunately not everybody gets in the race. If you guys had to go home.
Plenty of onboard cameras for you in tonight's field, giving you the driver's view, including this one from Mike Garrity in his Hans Group entry. Mike is scheduled to roll off 29th here tonight.
Eddie Sharp, the crew chief on that car, making major adjustments to that car after practice to make it a little better for qualifying, so hopefully they can make it better for the race.
Billy Venturini is going to give us a view, too, from his AccuQuote Chevy. Starting 22nd, the young driver out of Chicago. First start since Daytona.
Yep, Billy's good. He said Billy's not a real good qualifier, but he says, I'll be good in the race. He says, you know me, Dan, I don't qualify well, but I'll be there at the end, so we'll just have to keep an eye out for him.
The Advance Auto Parts Port Ford of Frank Kimmel is going to give you the good view tonight, too. Of course, King Kennel is starting 19th deep in the field, but it's going to be fun to watch the 43-year-old come up through the pack.
Yeah, well, of course, Frank not exactly where he wants to be, but not sure where the car is. But his brother Bill's been around a long time, and they'll make some good adjustments, get that car freed up here for the race, and he'll go to the front.
The 04 Taurus, the Booty Beer-backed entry of Andy Belmont out of Pennsylvania, giving us some views from 17th on the grid.
Andy just moving his shop down to North Carolina. Barry Owens, a chassis builder and a crew chief that's been around the North Carolina area for a long time. He's heading that program. He said, "Dan, we were making leaps and bounds." He says, "I've got 12 cars. I found out that we only got about 3 good ones." He said, "So we're weeding through it and hopefully make our program a big improvement."
Ken Weaver, the businessman out of Texas. You can see he's got some sunglasses on, giving us these views, but a clear shade because he knows that sun's disappearing. Finished 4th twice at Kentucky, so he could be a player here tonight.
He could. He blew a motor in practice. They had to make a motor change right before qualifying. He says, "I really don't know what I got for qualifying. I'm going to go out and keep the car underneath me, hopefully be there at the end." He's a smart racer, and he knows what it takes.
And Johnny Leonard's in the Boca Bay Builders Chevy, and he's got some views for us tonight, too.
Ted Kennedy really turning that program around, helping Johnny. They're a new team. Also just recently relocated to the North Carolina area. They've really come a long way. It's going to take a few more races to get some experience under his belt.
Here's the race analysis for tonight's event here at the Kentucky Speedway. 40 cars will take the green. It's 150 laps, 150 miles.
Yeah.
And 100 laps. We need to make a correction there.
Yep, we don't want to tell them drivers we've changed our mind on that. We'll have some fuel problems.
Yeah. Another 75 laps. They'd be a little frustrated, Don.
In 8 starts at Kentucky, Mark Gibson has never finished out of the top 10. He's got 2 third-place finishes and a 5th. He makes his 292nd career start tonight. DEI power aboard. I think he'll be a factor. Lindsay?
Thanks, Don. Check this out. Chad Blunt is hot off his win last week at Kansas, but check this out, this pattern he's trying to follow. In 2002, he came in second in the May race. He went on to win in July. This past year, second in May. Now he's going for the win today.
Well, we're getting ready to go to the green. Erin Crocker, when she started from the pole at Nashville, had a very strong run going. Can she complete it here tonight and get that first win for a female in ARCA REMAX Series competition? What a story that would be. Ray Evernham thinks she has a strong shot at it. He's here. All of his Busch and Nextel Cup teams were down in Chicagoland today, and he came here. The pace car is in. We are ready to go racing with the ARCA REMAX Series Round 11 on Speed Channel. More green.
Shocks, it's so important just to be careful and settle in. I'm sure Ray Abraham the spotter's tower now saying, "Aaron, let's just get single file, let's give it a few laps and we can come back."
A lot of adrenaline as that green flag comes out, and when you've got a fast race car, sometimes it's just too tempting to stick your nose up under there.
Oh, you're exactly right. I mean, I've been here before and spun out on the second lap for that very reason. Just so important to wait for that tire pressure to build up. Just be a few laps.
Lindsay, how about the adrenaline in Erin Crocker?
I know she's feeling adrenaline. I talked to her earlier today, and she said this is the first racetrack that she ever tested on. She said the night when she came here in March, before she raced the next day, she thought she was going to puke. She was so nervous she couldn't take it. But she said 4 months later, she feels a lot more solid. Her crew chief, Chris Andrews, told me that her passing skills, her ability to drive with others, if you see her right there going for the lead, that has almost improved 100%.
And we should add on that a little bit here, Dan, because she comes from some very difficult forms of racing, including the World of Outlaws series, where certainly she's done lots of passing, lots of winning. But when you get into this different type of race car, the aerodynamics coming off of a stock car is completely different than what she was used to running sprint car series. And that's really what we're talking about, her learning how that air is working when she's up behind a stock car.
You're exactly right, Ralph. There's so much air that pops off these cars, especially at 170, 180 mile an hour as you're driving down in the corner, and it's kind of a weird feeling, because when you drive down in the corner, like right down in here, when you drive down, the car moves around and moves right, moves left, and you're not sure if it's wanting to spin out or the back's wanting to come out from under it, so it just takes experience. And that's what it's going to take, Aaron, to get experience on a few of these speedways to understand what it's supposed to feel like.
Looking a little deeper into the field. There's Johnny Leonard in the 13. And we go on board Ken Weaver in the 20, who right now is running at 13. Talked to Ken earlier today, and he told me he was in a board meeting last night till 2 a.m. down in Dallas, Texas, got in his private plane, flew himself up here in jet, got into his hotel about 5 a.m., got a little bit of sleep, got to the racetrack at 9 a.m., and got himself ready to go racing. That is somebody who is truly addicted to the speed.
Ken's had a real tough day here again. He blew a motor there in practice. They blew a motor in that car. They really didn't blow it. They had that water coming out the exhaust. Wagner Automotive tuners down here. They said, now let's go ahead and change the motor. Be safe. Put a motor in that car. They ran the car out to the qualifying line. They were one of the last cars to get qualified, so it paid for the effort. You know, by doing that, they were able to qualify 15, so he's moving up to the field.
Here's Frank Kimmel, that red number 46. He's 23rd, it looks like, but charging.
Yep, he's actually slipped back a little bit there, Ralph. Car probably not to his liking right now. Again, that's what's so good about that team, the 46 team with Frank Kimmel. Him and his brother Bill are so good about making adjustments on that car during pit stops to make the car move forward. As you see, he kind of tiptoes down in the corner on the second groove there. He has to be so careful because Frank, again, races for the big picture. He's here to win championships.
Battling with Josh Clemens, who's drifting back in the 41. Frank's now at the 21st as he works his way through that pack. Andy Belmont in the 1.
Last thing Frank wants to do right now is get side by side. He needs to get single file, so he knows how to do that. He don't want to get out there and race with anybody right now until they get in and fix that car.
Well, the car has just come out. We got a car over in turn 2.
16 car, Dana White.
Looks like Dana White out of Concord, North Carolina. Well, we'll wait for them to settle this all out, and we'll have all the news for you when we come back to the Kentucky Speedway here on Speed Channel.
Have we got a Valentine's treat for you? The next round of ARCA competition on your favorite motor racing network, Motors TV, will come from the hill of Pennsylvania. Frank Kimmel and Bobby Gerhardt will be the men to beat on the Long Pond Super Speedway, but Erin Crocker will be looking to defeat the men at their own game. ARCA from Pocono, Tuesday, February the 14th, from 9 p.m.
Drivers, start your engines.
Welcome back to Kentucky Speedway with the ARCA Remax 150. The first caution of the night comes out when Dana White crashes over in turn 2. I'll show you what happened to Dana's car.
looks like it gets a little loose down in the center and entry, and just nothing you can do. Good thing for the safer barrier walls. You see it impacted the wall, gas blowing out the back of the car. It knocked the pickup off the car, but everybody seems to be okay and out of the car.
Now this is a view out of the back of Mike Garrity's car.
Just lost it going down in the corner, and again, you have to be careful. We're carrying so much speed here. You have to be real careful. Your car is loose. You need to get in and tighten it up.
Lindsay, do you have more on this incident with Dana?
You guys are exactly right. That's exactly what happened. David Boggs is Dana's crew chief, and he said that Dana just got very loose. He spun out and hit the wall. So that's the update I have down here.
Well, matches up the video. Well, the pits are open, and I'm guessing we'll probably see quite a few people diving for pit lane here. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I think now's the time. If you got a problem with your race car, we're 10 laps into the race, but now's the time to get in and make some adjustments. Cars like Frank Kimmel, who complaining about the car being very loose, monitoring his radio frequencies, just complaining about the car being real loose. And anybody that's not quite liking the handling, now's the time to get in. See Billy Venturini down on pit row also. He was complaining about handling on the car also, I believe. Another looseness, so they put a spring rubber in, I believe, the left rear of the car.
Okay. Billy making his way back out onto the racetrack in the number 15 now. Jason Jarrett is taking 25. And let's see how many people do come down pit road. Maybe not as many as we thought.
No, again, it's so early, but a guy that's got some problems, a guy or gal that's got some problems this early in the race, now may be the time to come in and make some major adjustments. You see Frank Kimmel looking to the inside there. He may be coming in.
I'm kind of surprised we didn't see more. I really kind of thought we'd see some more people take advantage of that. And Frank is in. Lindsay's there.
Frank Kimmel told me before the race his car was feeling very, very loose. You can see his crew going around to the right side. They're going to change all tires. They tell me they're also going to pull a spring rubber out of the right rear. Again, Frank saying that he's very loose. His crew chief, Bill Kimmel, is hoping this could be the difference that helps him gain back position because, as you saw, he had slumped back to about 23rd position. They're changing the left side tires right now, adding fuel, and they hope this is exactly what it takes.
You're exactly right, Lindsay. They did pull spring rubbers, and now he's back underway.
All right, so as Frank Kimmel makes his way back out on the race course, and Dana White's machine comes in on the hook, we'll take advantage of it, take care of some more business. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Working our first caution of the night here at Kentucky Speedway. We're one lap away from the green. Don, what was the story with the 15 car?
Well, Ralph, let's talk to the crew chief, Chris Showalter, who, by the way, is Jack Sprague's truck crew chief, doing Billy Venturini today. A little early on pit road. What's going on?
Yeah, Billy getting back in the car this week with his AccuQuote Chevrolet. We're just trying to get him some laps right now, make him feel comfortable. I mean, first race back after you're breaking your neck, so a little loose. So we put a spring rubber in the right front, try to make him a little more comfortable. So we'll see what we get here.
We'll call those minor adjustments early on at Kentucky.
Of course, the Craftsman Truck Series, as you look from the onboard view of Billy Venturini's machine, racing here at Kentucky Speedway tomorrow night, which you will see live, of course, on Speed Channel. Now, Dan, we also were talking about the trucks. They run on Goodyear tires, and the ARCA Remax Series runs on Hoosier tire. Will we have worked through all that Goodyear rubber now about 8 or 10 laps in?
I would say, from my experience, yes, it usually takes about, 8, 10, maybe 15 laps at the most. You start get some Hoosier rubber on top of that Goodyear rubber, and it should feel good. So it takes about 10 or so laps to get them worked in. See the teams down on the bottom, spraying the lug nuts, getting ready to get them clean. They glue the lug nuts back on the tires, get them ready for the next pit stop.
Chad Blunt leading the field off of turn number 4 towards the green flag, and we'll get this 150-mile, 100-lap back underway. Green flag.
He'll be headed to the front with Frank being a veteran in the series and also knowing what it takes to have a good race car. Got to have a car to move in front.
His way through the field pretty quick comes
did. As you see, the sun's still out here. The track still got some heat in it.
One around over in turn 2. It's the 69 machine of Steve Blackburn, and the 38 gets involved too, Mike Harmon.
Mike just spinning around there. Looks like Mike made no contact, so he'll be back on the way.
Not sure what happened to Steve. Let's see if we get a look at this. Steve Blackburn has done quite well in his racing days. In fact, he's the reigning NASCAR Dodge Weekly Racing Series Atlantic Region champion, winning the 2004 Lonesome Pine Raceway Late Model Championship. Here's a look at it. Let's see what happened to him.
Oh,
Did he get hit from behind?
Looks like just a cluster of cars. Maybe he got tied up with the car next to him.
That was Tandy Marlin in the 77.
Again,
Let's get another look at it.
Man, Mike Harmon slides by.
Almost slid into him, didn't he?
Sure did. Great job of everybody getting around him.
Here comes Harmon sliding right up into him.
Man.
Missed him by about a foot or so. There's one more look at it, real-time speed.
That for Mike Garrity's car. Mike gets by and back underway. Looks like everybody gets by scar-free. Even the 69 car of Steve Blackburn makes it through that all right.
Back underway. Did a lot of motorcycle racing in his day, too. In fact, won the...
down in Daytona in 93, is that correct?
Won the U.S. Twin Sports race at Daytona. Did a lot of dirt racing as well. All right, we'll be back for more right after this here on Speed. We're back to the ARCA Remax 150 at Kentucky Speedway. 18 laps are completed of the scheduled 100, and here's a look at your top 5. Chad Blunt out in front in his number 67. Been a little under the weather this week. Winning the last race at Kansas, and when they were all done, the crew dumped a bunch of Gatorade water on top of him, and he said he got a little sick. Been battling that all week long. I asked him, how did you celebrate that big victory? He says, oh, it was really wild. We went out, got some Taco Bell, got a hotel room, went back and watched the Cup race.
Well, that's a good relaxing evening for a race car driver, believe me. After being in a hot race car, hot day at the racetrack all day, that's one thing you want to do is go take a shower and sit in the air-conditioned room somewhere and think about it.
Chad was pretty good on the restart last time. He squirted out a little bit away from Aaron Crocker, who runs in second. Joey Miller in the number 9, right behind him in third. And Gibson in the 59. Boy, not only did Mark Gibson qualify well, but he's racing well early on here tonight in fourth in that green and black car.
Major adjustments.
Good start again for Chad Blunt as we go back to green. Yellow and black 13, running in 14. There's Frank Kimmel in the 46, working his way back up through the field after an early pit stop. Frank is up to 27, on board with Frank. Boy, it's a big pack he's going to have to work his way through just in front of him. But look how quick he's reeling them in, Dan.
Yeah, the car appears to be driving much better. I listened to Frank on the radio, and he did make the car better. Took spring rubber on the right rear, just the car was way too loose. Again, this track was, I think we assumed that the drivers and the teams assumed that the track was going to get cooler in a hurry, but unfortunately it's still a lot of heat in it, so the cars were a little bit loose.
Well, he's already caught Bill Eversole and gotten around him, Lindsay. What else can you tell us about Frank?
You wouldn't believe that Frank Kimmel has only placed out of the top 5 once here at the Kentucky Speedway. He did it in May of 2004, and that's the time that he finished 20th, 28 laps back.
Frank Kimmel, quite the story. Frank and Ryan Hemphill are the only 2 drivers to sweep both ARCA races in a single season. Frank did it in 2001. Ryan did it last year. Frank won the race here in May. He could become the first driver to sweep both races twice here in Kentucky if he wins here tonight. And the way he's coming up through the field, that's a certain possibility. Already up to 23rd and right behind, well, it's like Andy Belmont down
hand-filled here tonight because you see 67 and Chad Blunt there and Aaron Crocker, they're setting sail. He has to work through traffic. He got to be so careful here that he don't get lapped, because if we go great for some 20 or 30 laps, Frank could get hung back there in traffic and get lapped. So he's got some good contenders up front. He really has to reel them in a hurry if he's got anything for him.
Well, she's got Ray Abraham talking to her. That being, of course, Aaron Crocker. What's the radio conversations like so far tonight, Don?
Well, pretty calm from the rookie, Aaron Crocker. She came over the radio and said the car is handling quite well, not too loose, not too tight, just the way she wants it. She said she's just sitting back, watching and learning and getting to know Kentucky Speedway, not too worried about leading laps at the moment, at least for now.
Sitting behind Chad Blunt, who's had such a great season so far, and as fast as that 67 is week in and week out, probably a pretty good place if you're Ray Abraham. You'd like to see your driver sitting right now.
That's where I would, if I was Ray, I'd say get behind the 67 car, fall in line. He's going to move the traffic in front of you as we work through the corners. Follow him through the corners. That's the best thing you can do. I'm sure Ray Abraham on the spotter's tower right now is telling him to hurry. Exactly that.
Look how close she gets to him in the middle of the corner. Her car really dives in deep and runs the bottom of the racetrack much better than Chad Blunt's does all the way through the corners. That's a great race car. It's an ex-Jeremy Mayfield race car. It's got good downforce numbers. I talked to Ray. He said it was one of our really good cars. He said we made some changes to it. The rules in ARCA in the Nextel Cup Series are a little bit different, so they were able to change a little bit of things to their advantage to make the car have a little bit more downforce in certain areas. And as you can see, it's really working good here. And look at the gap they pulled out over Joey Miller, that number 9. No slouch of a driver, no slouch of a race car, that number 9. These two running first and second are really smoking around this racetrack. They've got the cars working well. When the cars feel good and you're a driver in the car, you have to stand on it. There's really no need to slow back or let anything leave anything on the table. Oh, and look at this. Jason Jarrett blows up in the 25, and Gibson just dove down the pit road in the 59, which is a shame for him because he had such a great qualifying run and a good run in 4th early on tonight. And now Jason Jarrett sees his evening go up in smoke. Wow, such a tough break for Jason Jarrett with that Schaefer motor engine, great engines in them cars. Unfortunately, his race will be ended short here tonight. That's our 3rd caution of the night. Coming out of 4th of the way in. See what happened to the 25. On board Frank Kimmel, you can see the smoke building up in front of him. Jason doing a great job. He run the race car right up to the top of the speedway using all the racetrack that he can, because he knows when he blows the motor, he's going to oil the racetrack down. That's a great thing to do as a competitor, and knowing that you got guys behind you, because he could have wrecked a bunch of race cars there by driving down to the bottom of the racetrack. So important to do that. Getting out of the racing line, if you're trailing anything behind you, get it up where most of the guys shouldn't be, then getting his hand out right away saying, guys, let me get to the bottom and out of the way. And there's Gibson's car. What a shame. Oh, no. You know, Mark was having such a great run. Looks like they got the airbox off that car, possibly a problem with the carburetor or something in the back at the top of the engine. Toughed up break for Mark Gibson, and he's running in 4th place. Had a great qualifying effort. DEI engine powered in that car. That's an ex-Michael Waltrip car from DEI. So we made some changes to the body. Actually, it's a cut-off body from one of the juniors' cars, and we kind of pieced it together. It's been a great race car for us, and so unfortunate for Mark Gibson here tonight in the Williams Brother Lumber car. Had a good run at Kansas, too. When I talked to him earlier tonight, I said, wow, what a great qualifying run. He says, man, I told my team after the last 2 weeks, the way we performed, I said, you guys must have got a different driver. Right there. Here's Jason Jarrett going right for the garage. Tough break for Jason as you hear the crew directing him in through the pits to bring it to the garage. Tough break for him. Well, for more on what might have gone wrong with that power plant, let's check in with Don Radebaugh.
Well, I'm thinking the power plant fell off. Let's talk to the crew chief, Troy Selberg. Is that what happened? You lost the motor?
Yeah, actually what happened, the motor got tight on us there early. Oil temperature started to spike on us. Ain't a whole lot we could have done about it. We tried to ride it out and see if it was going to make it, but picked up a vibration going in the corner there during the caution and blew the motor.
Gotcha. Upstairs.
Well, now the leaders will take advantage of this. Well, not all of them. Aaron Crocker's in. Blunt and Miller stayed out. But Aaron Crocker is making her way down. So is Ken Weaver in the 20 car.
Little strategy there. 28 laps into the race. Of course, these guys, you know, she's got Ray Abraham and some real experience behind her there. I'm sure they may come in and try and maybe do this in one stop. I'm not sure if you can do that depending on how the cautions fall, but car appeared to be driving real well. It looked like maybe a little bit tight off exit, but like as the crew goes around the left side of the race car, they're doing a 4-tire stop. They make that car a little bit better.
When I talked to Erin earlier today, she said a one-stop strategy was a possibility. We've also heard a lot of guys say that this is really a tire deal these days in the ARCA Remax Series, and the fresher your tires, the better you can be towards the end of the race, too. So you might want to come in one more time and get them if the cautions fall at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, tires do fall off here, so it is important, too. If you got the ability to come in and get tires, that's the time to do it. You get to take 4 tires, you'll be there at the end. But they got to have another set towards the end of the race also.
We will be right back to the Kentucky Speedway for more with the ARCA Remax Series here on Speed, right after these words. Do you ever race with pink slips, Martis?
No, I've got a few yellow slips tickets on the track. I thought I was racing, but I wasn't on the racetrack. That's the problem. Got real expensive, so I quit.
Glad to hear it. Well, interesting round of pit stops during caution number 3. Aaron Crocker, who's been so strong running in second, our lady who started on the pole here tonight, took advantage of caution number 3 to pit, while Chad Blunt and Joey Miller stayed out. What do you think of that, Tim?
Yeah, I don't know. That was strategy. I think that, you know, Aaron wanted to make an adjustment. They felt now was the time to do it. Take 4 tires, adjust on the race car, get it as good as we possibly can, and then you have a good race car at the end of the race. I don't know. I think it's a little bit of a gamble, but yeah, them guys, sometimes them guys are smarter than we are. You think?
Doesn't take much to be smarter than us.
See Mark Gibson on the inside back on the racetrack. Ready to go great.
Aaron Crocker is going to be back in 21st position. We go back to green. Green flag waves, and we're back at it again with Blunt and Miller running 1 and 2. David Reagan is in third. Reagan, the winner of a short track race earlier this year in Lanier, Georgia.
Whoa. Look, Mark Gibson down number 3.
Here's Reagan right there in the red number 90. Chad McCumbee in the black and white number 11, running in 7th.
Great run for Chad McCumbee. Andy Hillenberg, prepared automobile instructor there at the Fast Track Driving School at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Just a great top 10 run for them here tonight.
That's Justin Allgaier in the number 2 on the outside again, the red car with the yellow trim. McCumbee to the bottom side through 3 and 4. As that 11 glued right to that white line around the bottom of the racetrack. And here's where you trip way wide.
Such a cool racetrack because you can run way up by the wall and get a run there off the corner. As you see, he gets a run at the start-finish line, but then we have to race back down in the corner. Starting to work a little bit of rubber out in that second group. You see Justin Allgaier run on the outside of the racetrack here. It's so important to get rubber down, but he's able to run. And some cars, depending on what gear they have, that's a better group for them.
These two have been side by side for a good lap now. Johnny Leonard and the 96 on the outside of him, Brandon Nupp out of Sydney, Ohio. And his Taurus, the number 96.
See Frank Kimmel just in front of Brandon Nepp. Johnny, I know that's where Johnny wants to be, wants to follow Frank through the crowd there. Frank running in 9th, Brandon Nupp in 10th, Johnny Leonard in 11th. So
as we expected, Kimmel has put himself up into the top 10 already, charging his way to the front. Should be a player before the night is over. These two continue to run door to door.
Justin doing a great job on the outside. If he can get that line to work later in the race, it'll be really good for him. It's a little easier on the tires when we run on that high side. Doesn't burn as much rubber off the tire. Doesn't get the tires quite as hot. So that may be the key if he can run on the outside. Larry Moore's crew chief, Dave Savigny spotter there on that automobile. I'm sure they're talking to him, saying, hey, if that thing will run on the outside, keep that car out there, it'll be good in the long run. It'll be better.
By running on the outside, you're not turning the steering wheel as hard as the driver on the bottom. You're not using as much friction on the tires, saving a little bit of rubber.
So important to do that. If you can run on the outside, it's so much better. It's like Darlington or Rockingham or any of them racetracks. We like to run way out by the wall if we can. It's just a little bit easier on the tires, puts less heat in the tires, and then at the end of the run, you'll have a little bit more tire to head to the front.
Here comes Kimmel, chugging up through the field. Frank up to 9th. There's Gibson, who should be a lap down. And I think it's the 12 car just in front of him. Yeah, it sure is. That's Dwayne Bryan out of Florida. Youngster who came up through Legends cars and did a lot of racing in the short tracks in southern Florida.
Mario Goslin crewing that car. This is his first ARCA race here tonight in that 12 car from Florida. Again, he runs a lot of late models in the Central Florida area. Good kid looking to promote to the series.
College student is Brian, coming out of his first couple of years in school, trying to get a construction engineering degree while chasing his passion of racing. He's going to drift wide, and here comes Kimmel to the bottom side.
Frank currently in 9th place, as you've seen the graphic on the screen. He's ping-ponged all through the field here tonight, but again, they make adjustments on that car. Him and his brother Bill Kimmel are so savvy, know how to make adjustments on the car, know what it takes to get to the front. Frank drove in way deep down in the corner, shoved the nose in the little of the center of the corner, and lost the run off the exit, so he knows what he needs to do to get around it.
17 career super speedway wins for Frank Kimmel, maybe 18 here tonight.
Frank looking to the bottom side. It's so important to get your nose out, to get air on that nose as you exit the corner, so that it creates more downforce on that car. See how Frank sticks the nose down at the bottom, gets air over the hood of that race car. He's able to stand on it. When you get in the center of the corner, he can stab the gas.
Well, Dwayne Bryan got a good lesson for a couple laps racing with the king of the ARCA series, Frank Kimmel, Doc.
You know, Frank Kimmel has led more laps here at Kentucky than any other ARCA driver, 499. So if he can lead just one lap today, it'll be number 500 for Frank at Kentucky. Of the total laps run here over the years, 1,147. He has finished 1,116. He has led, listen for this, 44% of the total laps run in ARCA competition at Kentucky Speedway. Don't know if he'll add to that tonight, but his numbers here with 4 poles and 4 wins are indeed incredible, like much of his entire resume.
Absolutely, without a doubt, one of the best stock car drivers on the planet, Frank Kimmel, currently running in 8th in his famous number 46. And before the night's over, as quick as that car is, he might be challenging this young man for the lead. Chad Blunt has led it most of the way here tonight. 40 laps are completed. Stay with us. We'll be back for more of the ARCA Remax 150 here on Speed Channel from Kentucky Speedway right after these words.
With Motors TV this winter as we head to the United States for some true red, white, and blue grassroots motorsport competition. From the oldest road racing series in America, the Trans Am, to the all-terrain and high-flying competition of the Championship Off-Road Racing Series, to the heartland of the Continental 48 with the ARCA Stock Car Championship and World of Outlaws. If it's loud, a tad over the top, and rough and tumble, it has to be from the States, and of course, it's on the high-speed television network, Motors TV.
North America's longest continuing road racing championship, the Trans Am, made its first visit to the streets of San Jose, California for round 6 of the 2005 championship. Jaguar teammates Paul Gentilozzi and Kraus Graf took on the likes of Corvette stalwart Randy Ruhlman in another virile GT main event. Join Motors TV for all the action from San Jose, Friday, February the 10th from 8 p.m.
Speedway in Sparta, Kentucky. Ralph Shaheen alongside Dan Pardis. And working pit road for us tonight, Lindsey Zarniak and Don Radebaugh. Chad Blunt has certainly got the quickest race car here tonight, number 67. An old Joe Nemechek car. Looking for back-to-back wins in 2 weeks with the ARCA Remax Series, picking up a win at Kansas just a week ago. Buddy Joe Nemechek drove that very car to a win there as well. The next Cup competition.
Good race car. Wagner power underneath them hood. Them guys at Wagner Research and Development did a great job with motors, and man, it's showing really really good tonight.
And then the only thing that car didn't do here so far tonight, meaning the 67, is start from the pole. That was Erin Crocker. As she pitted just a little while ago, and the 98 has already battled her way back up to 8th. So Erin's far from being done here tonight. And there she is in that red 98 in the middle of the pack. Right there.
Working back to the field, being so aggressively patient. She knows we still got, some 50-plus laps left to the end of this race. Ray Abraham on the roof giving her directions, working her through the field. But she has to get that car figured out. This next pit stop is going to be so important for that team to make sure that the car is exactly where she wants it so she can have a good run at the end.
Chad McCumbee in the 11 on the outside, giving her plenty of room. Handing over the position. That moves Erin up to 7th. Talked to Erin a little bit, of course, a lot of conversation. She's going to go the lap around Mike Gary now in the 4 car. A lot of comparisons being made to the IRL's Danica Patrick, and Erin will tell you straight up front to say, hey, listen, I'm not the ARCA series version of Danica Patrick. I'm just Erin.
Very, very humble girl. Again, to drive in the World Outlaws car and win an A-main feature, man, I tell you, it really takes a person to be able to drive on the World Outlaws. I'm not sure I could do that. I don't know if I could even get in there and run with them guys, but she's got the guts. She's got what it takes. She just has to get used to the air, bumping off these race cars and the 800 horsepower underneath the hood.
She's doing a good job of it tonight, now racing with Norm Benning in the 84. For more on Jason Jarrett, here's Lindsay.
Jason, you had started 23rd tonight. You had climbed your way up about 7 spots. How frustrating is it that your night ends so early?
It was really frustrating. Just anytime you have a short night, it's disappointing. But we had people from Central Merchant Services here. I just needed a good run at Kentucky Speedway because I didn't have a good one in the spring when we came here. Tonight didn't turn out any better, but I know the car was better this time. Maybe next time we come back or next mile and a half we go to will be even better. And now we just go cheer Billy on.
And sticking to the positive note, how excited are you for the rest of your season with this new partnership?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Me and Billy make pretty good teammates. We kind of joke around with each other. And Venturini family's been good to me. Central Merchant Services has been good to me. I just think the rest of the year is going to be a good year.
On board with Billy Venturini, and I think that's going to be a good combination of Jason Jarrett with Billy Venturini. I think that could work out well for both.
Well, man, them guys get along so well, and they can fit in the same seat, so that's so important as a race car driver when they go test. He said when we came here and tested a few weeks ago, he got in my car, I got in his car. He said, and Jason found some things out about setup that he didn't know, and I got on his car, and vice versa. So it's so important to be able to share that information, to share that feel with each other as drivers, and them team drivers, they've actually got a team.
A lot of action going on the racetrack. You saw Chad Blunt go past Billy, and now we're watching the battle for 4th between the 32 machine of Danny O'Quinn,
20-year-old.
Actually for 5th, I should say, and Frank Kimmel in the 46.
Again, that's an ex-Roush Jeff Burton car. It's an R&D team. Tony Lambert, crew chief in that car. Tony Lambert was past crew chief for Mark Martin in the Busch Series when Mark won a lot of Busch races. He's a great crew chief. He said Jack Roush would give him a call and said, hey, I got a young kid that I'd like you to kind of look over. We're going to run some ARCA races. We may run some Busch races. We're just going to kind of see where it brings us. So Tony took the job, and him and Danny are doing a great job.
And blasted past Tim Turner. And it looks like they're going to do the same. It was at the 48 that just went by. That was TJ Bell on the outside, who had 4th position. And TJ's going to lose 2 spots.
TJ backed up a little bit. May have had a bad run off the corner again. If you get a real push off the corner, it shoves the nose, but TJ's back underway.
TJ in that brightly colored orange number 48, trying to get back in the draft of those two. Well, there's Chad Blunt just past the halfway point here in Kentucky. The ARCA REMAX Series racing to the finish here on Speed. The ARCA REMAX 150 here on Speed Channel. Chad Blunt still dominating the show here tonight in his number 67. Getting close to maybe the pit window for the 67. David Reagan apparently getting ready to make his pit stop. He has dropped down off the racing groove. Reagan the winner at Lanier. I said, how's your life changed now that you won a race? He says, you know what? I used to be happy about getting a top 5. Now if I haven't won, I'm frustrated. It makes me crazy.
It's funny, as a racer, you know, when you win a race, you expect a lot more out of every week you come in and out. He was in a ex-Robert Yates, Elliott Sadler car, Yates Motors, Tom Perkins, crew chief on that car. They're running really good tonight. He was running third as he entered pit road for fuel.
Son of former Cup star Ken Reagan, who is here tonight as well. 48 out of gas. TJ Bell runs it a little too close to the edge, and he'll coaster in on fumes in the 48.
Yep, at least he's got speed up. He's down on pit road. He'll be okay. They'll get that car down, stop, spray some ether, and get it back underway.
Let's check in with the 90. Here's Don.
Another guy out of gas was David Reagan, who coasted to a stop here on pit road. Meanwhile, he tried to fire it. It just stalled again for the third time. Right side tires going on. Took way long to get those on. And remember, the green flag still flying at Kentucky Speedway for a guy who's got a very stout race car. He was up front all night. This is very disappointing. Still here on pit road, and the car won't fire. They're trying to, you know, spray the ether in and make it go, but so far it hasn't worked. They do have... Lindsay, what do you have?
Joey Miller's car is pulling in front of the 13 of Justin Leonard. Joey's been complaining that his car is tight. What they're going to do is put on 4 fresh tires, give him some gas, and add 2 rounds of wedge. Joey's mother, Jane, was sitting on the pit wall earlier today. I talked to her. She said, I just told Joey, don't let yourself be beaten by a girl. Of course, she was joking. She meant Aaron Crocker. But as they try to fix Joey's car, Justin just got around the outside of it. You see right now they are changing the left side tire. Joey is hoping that he can keep his place for second.
Well, he's back out on the racetrack, but the only car we're waiting for now, Dan, is Chad Blunt, the driver in that 67, who has led all the way through. And what about Frank Kimmel? We saw him pit early. He's probably going to have to come in again, don't you think?
Yeah, but Frank came in 10 laps into the race, so he can go 10 laps further. Chad Blunt's been out there for the whole term. Of course, them Wagner motors, they may get really good gas mileage.
Now, when Chad Blunt pits in that 67, that'll move Kimmel into the lead, and guess who's going to be sitting in second?
Yep, him, Aaron Crocker. Exactly, and Aaron, you know, she came in too there. Not exactly what lap, but she came in afterwards, also took fuel, so her and Frank will be able to stay out there a little bit longer and hopefully hope for a caution where they can come in under yellow and take fuel again.
2 other cars having a great run here tonight. Justin Allgaier sits in 4th in car number 2, and the driver right behind him right now in 5th, having a great run here tonight. Dwayne Bryan, the young driver we talked about out of Florida in that black number 12. Doing a great job.
See, Aaron Crocker, she was in on lap 28, so you know, that will take her a good distance. She may be able to lap this field here, so it could really be very tough here for a lot of guys to get a lap in. Frank Kimmel coming in on lap 11. Again, he'll be able to stay out there for a few more laps, but Aaron coming in on lap 28, so she's got some big gain on laps there. She set Chad Blunt motoring away.
Well, how far do you think Chad can go with this fuel in the 67?
Well, I talked to crew chief Tom Kazlowski, and you know, he said 65 laps is kind of their number, but we've had a few caution laps, so we may be in right at lap 70. I would say we won't see him go past lap 70.
Is that too late? Have you pushed it too far at that point, do you think?
I don't know. We're going to find that out, but he come in and get good tires, he'll be good to go.
Don, what do you think of that strategy?
Well, I don't know. I just know they brought up a can of Prestone ether just in case, starting fluid. And I'm telling you, I did talk to Tom. He said they thought he could go about 66 or 67 with the aid of those previous cautions, but they don't know. The crew's standing on the wall. They're ready for their man with their Prestone starting fluid if necessary.
Hoping to go back-to-back wins. Kansas just a week ago, and now here at Kentucky Speedway. They love this race car on this team. They have worn her out already this year. Oh, and TJ Bell is around. This could be the break that they were looking for.
This is what them guys really needed. They needed caution so they can get in under caution.
Caution number 4 comes out. Late in the going with 34 laps left to run. And the Hoosier tires are ready for car 67. Chad Blunt, everything is falling his way, isn't it?
Yes, it was. I mean, he really needed a caution, and he got it. TJ Bell was already in for fuel. He ran out of fuel, so maybe a little handling problem on that car made him spin around, but did not make contact with the wall, so TJ's back underway.
Let's take another look at it. There's Frank Kimmel. Kimmel will probably take advantage of this yellow, too.
Yes, he will.
Here's TJ just all by himself down the backstretch.
Yep.
Kind of an odd spot to lose it.
Just gets off the corner, car obviously a little bit loose, and Fortunately, slides down in the grass and gets it back in gear, gets back in the way.
Well, let's see what the top two do here in the closing stages. If you're Aaron Crocker, do you come in as well, since you're sitting in third, just to get fresh tires to be on an even playing field with these guys, or do you try to stay out and run away from them?
Well, it's hard to say. I really don't know what their fuel mileage is. Did not talk to Ray about fuel mileage, but you know, she came in on lap 27, so there's a possibility that Aaron can make it to the end.
Find out, won't we?
Yep, it'll be tough.
Strategy playing out in what could be a historic night if Aaron Crocker pulls off the win, or it could be a great night for Chad Blunt if he's able to bounce back and get 2 wins in a row. And here's Frank Kimmel trying to become only the first driver in ARCA REMAX Series hit both races at the Kentucky Speedway, not once but twice in his driving career. Just one more amazing statistic on an already incredible career resume.
It's like pit road will be open this time by. We'll just see if Frank and Aaron come in and top them cars off, and then they'll be good to the end.
A lot of great storylines playing out here tonight at Kentucky Speedway. One way or the other, we're probably going to make a little bit of history here.
Right here, buddy.
Hear Frank Kimmel on the radio. Through Chief Bill talking to him.
All right, it looks like Chad Blunt is definitely coming in. He's dropped down. Here comes Kimmel as well. Let's go to Frank Kimmel's pit first. Lindsay.
Frank Kimmel pulls into his pit stall. This is the same car he won with here in May, and of course they fixed the loose problem a little bit. That is why he is able to be running in second place right now. This is a pit stop where they are giving him 4 new tires. They're giving him some fuel, and Frank has gotten on the radio, said that he feels a lot better now. To Don.
Well, I'm with Chad Blunt, who's not loose. In fact, this guy's a little too tight. Routine, though, they will make a track bar adjustment to help loosen up that race car. Right side tire already on the Ford Travel Motorhome Chevrolet. This is a good pit stop so far. Left side tire going on as well. The car came in, it was running. They made it just in time on fuel. But now he stalled it. Got it going again. He's away.
Aaron Crocker pitted as well. There she is. Justin Allgaier in the 2 pitted. Ken Weaver in the 20 pitted. Chris Loff in the 7 pitted. So a lot of the big name front runners have all taken advantage of this to pit. So man, they're all on an even playing field now, Dan, as we get set for the run to the checkers here tonight at Kentucky. Boy, what a barn burner we got setting up here. This should be a great finish.
Yep, 32 laps to go. I think it was a smart move for all them teams. Take tires, make your final adjustments. They're good to the end.
Pretty much had to. When you saw the big guys coming in, you had to come with them. All right, stay with us. We've got a great one setting up here in Kentucky. We're back to the Kentucky Speedway, and Aaron Crocker is being scored in front of Chad Blunt right now, because apparently the line on pit road where the timing beam is not where we thought it was. It wasn't the last line, it was one of the lines prior to that, and she beat him there. But things have not gone perfectly for Aaron and her crew tonight. Take a look at this scary video down on pit road. Look at this. That's her stall.
Man, something lit up there. Man, luckily they've got the firemen nearby. They were able to extinguish that fire.
Crew all over it with their fire extinguishers, getting it out right away. A great job by the Kentucky Speedway fire crew to get what could have been a potentially disastrous situation handled. Don, what was the story there?
Well, what happened is one of the guys fueling the car got a little fuel on his gloves. That's nothing big. That happens a lot. But that same guy then took a torch to one of the Hoosier tires, and they'll heat those tires up so they're easier to scrape off the excess rubber. That way they can check the tread wear on that tire. Well, while he was doing that, his glove actually caught fire from the torch, and then he threw the glove down on the ground where there was some spilled gas, and guess what? Poof! She went up in flames for a while, but fortunately the Kentucky Speedway fire and safety crew was Johnny on the spot and took care of that in a hurry. It could have been much worse, but that's what happened.
All right, Don, thanks. And watching from high above, Ray Evernham. There you see him, just past the pole.
High in the sky.
Watching everything going on below. I asked Aaron, so what's it like having your big boss here as your spotter? She goes, well, he's got a lot of great information. Of course, if I do something wrong, he's right there on top of me, too. We're back to green.
Good open run in there. These guys have got to get in open air, keep them noses out in open air, get some noses pinned through the corner. So important, especially with some 30 laps to go here. We have to get with the program.
Wow, look at this pack of cars. Everybody's scrambling for position. Oh, that's the problem right there. And what a great run that 12 car has had here tonight. Oh, and he gets crushed.
Man,
right there as he was trying to make his way down to the bottom. That's the young Dwayne Bryan out of Florida that we were talking about earlier. TJ Bell caught up in the middle of that as well. He gets hit a couple of times. What a shame for Dwayne Bryan. He had such a good run going on tonight.
Looks like Ken Weaver got a great run there on the outside, and he tried to pinch him to the corner, just not enough room. And again, what happens is you get the wind off some of these cars and you really suck up. They're running some 100-mile-an-hour plus and just nowhere to go.
Puts the window net down. That's a very good sign, letting the safety workers know he's okay. TJ Bell, the former Rookie of the Year, in that orange car right back there. And, of course, the 08 Bill Eversole out of Chelsea, Michigan.
You see Billy Venturini involved. A little bit of debris on the racetrack all around.
And there's Dwayne's car back there, the 12 machine.
Wow.
Let's see, we got a couple of looks at this. Let's see if we can figure out what happened here. 3 wide. Oh,
Ken Weaver just drive down in the corner, not enough room.
Well, it looks like Dwayne might have moved up a little bit and didn't realize maybe that Ken was going to be right there.
Yep, that's highly possible. Again, that's what spotters are for, and that's their job. It's so tough. A lot of cars around on the racetrack. You see Ken on the outside, and like I said, Dwayne may have just not known he was there.
And then he just gets hammered by Eversole and just gets missed by the 45 of Michael Simcoe out of Michigan, who probably still can't believe he got through that small hole. See, look, it just looks like he was moving up and didn't realize that Ken was trying to thread the needle there.
Again, that was just an issue of a spotter. Spotters really help you through these situations. May not have known Ken had to run on him.
There's the view from Ken Weaver's car coming up now. Watch this. You can see that Ken saw him coming up. He got out of the throttle, and that hole closed up just, so quick.
Just nowhere to go. Again, he had to run on the outside. I don't think Dwayne knew he was really on the outside.
Tough way for a good run to come to an end. Been a frustrating night for poor TJ Bell, who's running up in the top 5 for a while, ends up with a torn-up race car here in Kentucky. We're coming back for the finish here at Kentucky Speedway on Speed Channel. Stay with us. TJ Bell has really had an up-and-down night here with 81 of our 100 laps completed. Unfortunately, Lindsey Zarniak ended up on a really big downer.
It did. TJ luckily just came out of the care center. TJ, from your perspective, what was it that happened out there?
Craziness. No, I don't know. Frank got a little bit loose in front of me, and we got hit from the rear and started spinning. And after that, it was just a bunch of smoke and got hit a few times after that. We're okay, though. Looking forward to the truck race tomorrow in the Glen Motorsports Dodge. Hopefully we put on a good show, and I hope everyone enjoyed the race tonight.
I saw you looking closely at your wrist. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. I just jammed it a little bit in the steering wheel and go take some Advil, take a nap and a lot of water and be ready to go for tomorrow.
Good luck tomorrow.
TJ will be doing double duty here tomorrow. You can catch his Truck Series racing tomorrow night. There he is up against the wall on the right. There's his car coming back on the hook. Of course, that NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race will be seen live here on Speed Channel. Well, let's see if we can talk to Chad Blunt, the man out front in the 67. Can you hold him off, Dan?
I think so. Let's give him a holler. Chad Blunt, Dan Partis, Ralph Shaheen in the speed booth. You copy?
I got you guys on clear.
Hey, buddy, looks like that car's been real flawless all night. Been able to stick it on the bottom, on the middle, and up towards the top. What do you think? You still got some giddy-up left in it?
I think so. Race car's been real good. These guys worked real hard on this Sport Travel Red Line Oil Chevrolet. So, the main thing is clean air right now. And, we got about 20 minutes to go or so.
Roger, you got Aaron Crocker right on your tail there with Frank Kimmel right on hers. What's the plan? Just stand on it and go?
Yeah, Ted, you know as well as anybody, Dan, when you're in the lead, you just get after it and you take chances. So we just need to stay out front here and see what happens.
Great, man. Well, good luck from us in the booth, and hopefully we'll see you down there in Victory Lane.
10-4, thanks, guys.
No doubt, Chad Blunt has done a great bit of driving here tonight. But you know what? All 5 drivers in the top 5 have had excellent runs here tonight. Chad Blunt, Aaron Crocker, Frank Kimmel, Kyle Krisloff, and Justin Allgaier. Well, the ARCA Remax Series is going to be doing a lot of racing in the coming weeks. A lot of it you'll see right here on Speed Channel. Up to the short track at Berlin Raceway up in Martin, Michigan. Coming up July 16th, then on to the Big Triangle at Pocono Raceway. That one will be seen on Speed. We'll join you again from Gateway International Raceway outside of St. Louis. That'll be a good one on a mile oval there. Lake Erie Speedway in northeastern Pennsylvania. The Big Super Speedway in Nashville, Tennessee. Second visit there, and again, we'll follow that up with the second visit to the Big Michigan International Speedway. Look at the rest. We're going to go do it a little dirt. On the dirt. Gotta love that. Of course, Speed will have some short track action for you at Toledo. Back to the dirt in the Great Big D at DuQuoin. Chicagoland will be there. Salem for the short track, and of course, the champion will be crowned right here on Speed from Talladega. Dan and I and Lindsay and Don will be there. Hope you will be too. Stay with us. We're coming back.
Join Motors TV for an off-road adventure through and over the Alps. In the Croisière Blanche, a special breed of thrill seekers will climb aboard their 4x4s, quads and motorbikes for a trip that's as technically challenging in the cold temperatures as it is in breathtaking with the scenery. The Croisière Blanche, Saturday, February the 11th from 8:30 p.m. Friday night on Motors TV, and at 7 o'clock we have Motorsport Memory. We go back to 1995 for part 2 of the VTCC John Cleland story. At 8 o'clock it's round 6 for the Trans Am from San Jose, and at 9 it's Le Touquet Enjoropal, the replay. Round 6 of the late model division of the World of Outlaws from Memphis, Tennessee comes your way Saturday, February the 11th from 9 p.m. Be sure to tune into the high-speed television network that is Motors for all the sideways, door-to-door stock car racing action that's the World of Outlaws. You'll find it here on Motors.
Blunt absolutely dropped the hammer on him at the restart. We just got back from break. They've just gone back to green, and he has opened up a good lead coming off of turn number 4 with 15 to go.
Man, what a wild restart. They all drove down into turn 1, 3 wide, and it looked like it was going to be a real log jam there, but Chad, luckily, right where he wants to be out front, just stood on it.
Justin Allgaier in the red number 2 with the yellow holds down second place. Aaron Crocker, the rookie, giving chase in that red number 98. She's to the bottom side. Here she comes, charging up the inside for second. She'll take it back.
Justin's been running on that outside all night. He's really got the outside figured out, but with that Everham power, I don't think he's got enough motor to hang with Aaron.
Now, how good is that Everham car? She's already pulling away from Allgaier. Can she chase down Chad Blunt with 13 to go? And for you sprint car fans paying attention to tonight's action, Aaron told me today it's pretty much a guaranteed fact that after the race in Nashville, coming up, which you'll see live here on Speed, she's going to get on an airplane and come to the Knoxville Nationals, where she will come racing with the World of Outlaws. Of course, you'll see 4 hours of live coverage from there as well on Speed. That is going to be exciting to watch. She's gaining on it.
Yep, she's got that car right in the center of the racetrack. She can stand on the gas, and it's so important.
Here's a look at the restart. Watch Blunt just drive away from. We'll get to it in a second. I'll tell you what, though, she's going to make a run out of this.
She's gaining ground. Ray Everham up top on the crow's nest, talking to her, told her on that restart, tighten them belts, let's get a real good jump here, and let's do the best we can. Here's the restart.
Now watch Blunt upstairs in the black machine. The green's out, and she's just looks like maybe she had trouble getting through the gearbox, you think?
Yep, you see Frank Kimmel look to the inside. He had to check up. You see Kyle Krisloff to the outside. Kimmel drives down in the center and boom, makes contact with Aaron entering the corner. That could have been a big melee, but everybody stayed in the gas and was able to keep the car straight.
Look at this dance. She is really closing the gap on him. Chad Blunt cannot be happy about that.
No, Erin is gaining ground. She's got that car really working in the center of the racetrack. Ray Abraham, the spotter's been pumping her up, saying you got what it takes. Use the car. Let's be there in victory lane, but you got to do it in the last few laps of the race. Do not use the race car up. She's done exactly that here tonight in this ARCA Remax Series race.
Listen, this young lady has gone wheel to wheel with some of the best in the world of sprint car racing. Men like Steve Kinzer and Danny Lasowski have beaten them. She's not afraid to go after anybody. And right now, she's got Chad Blunt in her sights. Will she make history here tonight and become the first woman to ever win an ARCA Remax Series event?
She sticks the nose of the car way to the bottom of the racetrack. Again, it's so important to get air over the top of the race car, over the nose of that race car. She don't want to be right behind Chad. She knows what she has to do, and I'm sure Ray has educated her. You got to get the nose down on the bottom, get that air over the race car, make downforce. It turns a lot better in the center of the corners. You see her drive down towards the bottom of the white line.
Now sliding to the outside, almost at will, it looks like.
Maybe trying a little bit different line there. I'm sure the spotters, Ray's telling her try a little bit different line, and that's what it's about. We still got 9 laps to go. Now's the time to be trying it.
There's Ray Evernham just next to that pole right there watching, keeping his fingers crossed. Will he, as well as the rest of us, see history made here tonight with Eric Crocker maybe getting a win? Or will Chad Blunt get 2 for 2 back-to-back wins with that number 67 that's been so strong here tonight?
She's got to be careful not to use that race car up and overdrive it down on corner entry, because if you heat them tires up, you'll pick up a push, then she'll start to back up. So I'm sure they've talked to her about that, made her aware of that problem.
Eric Crocker never doubted she could battle with the boys. Even as a young girl, she was voted by the boys to be the captain of the all-boy hockey team that she played on. This young lady is fearless when it comes to competition. Chad Blunt under the weather, dealing with the flu bug all week after a wild celebration in victory lane at Kansas. The guy's dumping water and Gatorade on him. He's not feeling under the weather right now. Charged up with adrenaline, trying to hang on for back-to-back wins.
Some 5 seconds back to third place. A 2-car Justin Alligar. They really pulled away from the field. Joey Miller in 4th place. Some 5 seconds back.
On board with Frank Kimmel running in 5th. He'll be frustrated he's not challenging for the win, but of course, big picture thinking for Frank. He scored good points towards a 7th championship here tonight.
That's what that race team's about. They're about championships. If the car's off just a little bit like it's been off tonight, top 5 finish, that's a victory for them. To finish 5th here tonight in Kentucky would be good for them. 6 seconds off the pace. As each lap counts down, they get further and further away from the 2 leaders, and really he don't want to overdrive the race car, so he knows what he has to do to finish in the top 5.
Here's that battle once again. When they cross the stripe, 5 to go.
Erin don't appear to be losing any ground on Chad. She just has to stay right there. Maybe she's waiting for a few laps before the end. She tucks her nose right underneath the tail bumper of Chad getting down in the corner. She could loosen him up, then she'll be able to drive by him.
She is tucked right up behind Chad. She followed him for many laps. Look at the closing speed she's got in the center of the corner. She's coming to the outside of him.
Great corner entry. She's got a great run. She has to get a run on him and then just keep driving by. You hear Ray Abraham telling her, just like that, stay on. 4 laps to go.
Now she's got to time that move at the right time, too, with the right amount of traffic not in front of them.
Exactly right. Traffic comes into play here. When you get a run, it's so important to have a good run because you don't want to get backed up into traffic.
Boy, that really helped Chad Blunt, but look at Erin diving to the bottom of another lapper. Blunt pushing wide through the center of 3 and 4, and she once again closes right up on him. Just when it looks like he's going to get a big gap, she seals it right back up.
She does. That car is so good in the center of the corner. She's able to get back into gas where Chad shoves the nose of the race car. Doesn't have quite the downforce, down right into the center right there. That's where she gains all her ground.
Here she comes again. Here's where she's making all the ground.
Right down through the center. She's able to stand on that gas. It's so cool to have a good race car through the center of the corner because you can get such a good race car off.
Back in 3rd, the number 9, Joey Miller. Haven't talked about it much tonight. Spent a lot of laps running in 2nd. Doing a great job hanging on for 3rd. But this is where the story is with 2 to go.
Erin's so good. If she's got to make a move, she has to do it now. Now's the time to set Chad up and get a run on him. She knows victory so she can get by him.
The best finish by a female ever in ARCA Series history was Shauna Robinson, who finished second at Daytona in 1999. Worst case scenario, it looks like Erin Crocker will tie that. Can she better it? One to go. She's going to have to close that gap up in a hurry.
She's lost a lot of ground on that lap. I don't know through traffic, or maybe she just overdrove them tires and lost a little grip on them tires. Again, when you overdrive the race car down on corner entry, it heats the tires up and you lose grip, and unfortunately, it looks like that's what's happened there.
She'll make one more desperate attempt going down into 3.
Drive down in the corners. You see Chad Blunt just driving away. He's got the race car.
It's gone away from her. It has gone away from her here in the last 2 laps. Chad Blunt makes his way to the checkered flag for the victory here in Kentucky. Back-to-back wins for Chad Blunt. Erin Crocker does a great job making history in her own right as she ties Shauna Robinson with the best career finish by a female driver in ARCA Series history with a well-earned second place.
Awesome finish here tonight. She's done a great job.
Joey Miller, a tremendous run for the driver in car number 9, comes home in 3rd. And Frank Kimmel, big picture racing, sees the championship, number 7, looming out in front as he scores more points tonight with a 4th place finish. What a great run by that young man. We'll talk to him when we come back to Kentucky. Welcome back to Kentucky Speedway. Chad Blunt and crew celebrating here on the start-finish line at Kentucky. All kinds of smoke coming off the back of that number 67. It's been a good year for Chad. 4 wins already, picking up victories at Nashville, and then the very next race at Salem Speedway. Then just last week at Kansas Speedway, and now at Kentucky. Every time he goes on a winning streak, he goes back-to-back, Don Radebaugh.
Let the victory celebration begin. Back-to-back, these guys are on their program. The 4 Travel Motorhomes crew is pumped up. Could you tell? Oh yeah. Let me find that little guy. He's hard to find in the crowd, but we'll pick him out if we can. Good job, Chad Blunt. You were back-to-back at Nashville and Salem, and now back-to-back Kansas and Kentucky Speedway style. Erin Crocker made you earn it. In the end, tell us about the closing laps.
They were pretty hairy there. The race car got real tight there at the end. We knew if we kept her on the bottom, we'd have the car to beat. But how about these guys? Lead this many laps. I mean, we just missed the pole, but this is awesome. I mean, I got to thank all my sponsors, Biomet, Ford Travel, Redline Oil. I mean, if it wasn't for all of them, we wouldn't be here.
What a run from you tonight. I'll tell you what, you almost ran out of gas early in the race, too. It had to have been some tense moments there for you.
Yeah, I was watching that gas gauge the whole time there, but, it worked out, and, I'd like to thank Mary Louise and Dave Miller for giving this opportunity again. It's kind of rejuvenated career. And I remember back at Nashville, Chad Blunt's back. Well, he's even back and badder than ever.
No doubt about that. Chad Blunt did a great job. Lindsay Zarniak, who do you have?
I've got Erin Crocker, and she just said, I'm content. I'm not thrilled with myself. I can't believe you can say that when you just made history.
Well, thank you, but I definitely had the faster car, and I'd gain on Chad right in the center of the turn, but I couldn't ever get a run on him. So congratulations to Chad, but I'd just like to thank my team and Ray Evernham for coming here to spot tonight. Out of Value Bumper to Bumper for sponsoring me. It's definite improvement, and we're heading in the right direction, so I guess I'm content.
I know you've said this whole thing has been an entire learning experience for you. What did you learn out there tonight?
Tonight was probably one race where I kind of put it all together. I mean, there's still obviously definite room for improvement, but I hit my pit stops and I got my restarts, which I struggled the first 2 races. So starting to put it together. I still need to work on some passing things and when you get in a big crowd of people, but definitely headed in the right direction.
Congratulations. Dan and Ralph?
Dan, she's had 3 races, 2 poles, and now top 5 with a second place finish. She's really on a pretty quick learning curve.
Really has. Nothing to hang her head about. Man, what a great night for her. And like she says, she learned so much here tonight, learned about the win, learned about buffing the cars. She done a great job.
That win is coming. And Chad Blunt, Sway Bar Dragon last week, he gets a win tonight. Another great one. We'll be back for more. Stay with us. Well, speaking of SK Tools and our Crew Chief of the Year award, how about today's winner, Don?
He did a great job, Tom Sokolowski. For sure, you're brand new to this team, already 4 victories in the books. You guys got to be feeling good.
Oh, yeah, real good. This is exciting. This is good for Dana, Mary Louise, and the whole team. We needed another victory. Hopefully we can do it again next week.
I'm got to believe you guys can. Lindsay, what do you have?
I'm here with Joey Miller. Joey, you came back from being a lap down. How gratifying is this third place finish for you?
Well, it's really awesome. I mean, coming from a lap down, not having the best car all day, and really making a run with 10 laps to go, getting third. What a points night. Gained a couple points on Kimmel, so hopefully let's keep this momentum going.
You guys might not know this, but he actually failed his first driving test ever. He couldn't turn left, his mom says, right?
I might not get a job saying that on the air.
All right, guys.
Well, he did a good job here tonight. Here's a look at the full field rundown.
Frank Kimmel there in fourth. Justin Allgaier, great run for Larry Moore and that team.
Walt Brandon with a very solid run tonight in the 65. Didn't get a chance to talk about him too much, but he comes home with the top 10, as did Ken Weaver after a long trip and a lot of weary eyes.
Chad McCumbee there in 12th, running top 10 all day.
Steve Blackburn, we talked about the Regional Series champion and a Lonesome Pine Speedway champ, finishing 14th after bouncing back from a spin.
Yep. We see Mark Gibson in 22nd. Tough break for him, running the top 5 here tonight and had a little engine problem.
We saw the damage to Phil Bozel's car. He's credited with a 25th.
See Billy Venturini in 32nd. Unfortunate, got involved in that wreck there, but Billy's fine and give him the confidence he needed to go back to the next one.
A career finish of 7th for Darrell Basham tonight, 37th, however, and Dana White rounds out the field in 40th. Lindsay?
I'm here with Frank Kimmel. Frank, no one can say that you can't come back, right?
What a night, I tell you. The Advanced Auto Parts Sport guys, we worked really hard all day, and we just never did get it. And middle of the race, the car was actually pretty good. We started making some ground up and got caught back up and had a great pit stop. The guys did a good job. And that last set of tires, it was so loose I couldn't drive it again. And just hung on, had a good race with Justin there. He did a good job. And I missed a lot of wrecks there tonight, so most of the time they were going to be me, so I was pretty happy.
All right, he comes back from 19th position to get a 4th place finish. Guys?
That's how you win championships, Lindsay. He's got 6. He's going for 7. And this young guy here is going to be right there with him, battling all the way to the end. Chad Blunt, a tremendous run. The next race on Speed Channel with the ARCA REMAX Series comes your way from Pocono Raceway, July 23rd. Catch it live at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. However, if you're in the Marne, Michigan area just next weekend, catch the ARCA REMAX Series at Berlin Raceway on the short track. Should be a great show up there. Well, what do you think?
Man, what a fine show here tonight again at this 1.5 mile Kentucky Speedway. Great racing facility. Chad Blunt just flat put it on him. Aaron Crocker, she was there at the end. What a great race we had here tonight in ARCA REMAX Series.
She's got to be getting a win here soon, don't you think?
She's right there on the edge. I think in the next 2 or 3 races, I predict her in victory lane.
She thinks she'll be running at Pocono with us too, so make sure you tune in and catch that. It might be a history-making day with the ARCA REMAX Series live here on Speed Channel. Well, it was a good night here at Kentucky. A lot of great racing, and we're glad you joined us for it all here with the ARCA REMAX Series on Speed. For Lindsay Zarniak and Don Rainaball, both of whom did a great job down on pit road, my colleague up here in the booth, Dan Pardist, I'm Ralph Sheheen. Thanks for joining us here on the home of the ARCA REMAX Series, Speed Channel, where Chad Blunt has won its 4th race of the season.